think we're live. Hang on. I think we're live.
Are you asking if we are alive or if we're live?
We are live. I just brought it up on YouTube. We're right there.
Yeah. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the G Show podcast. I am G1, and this is the Geek Out. And we've got a lot to geek out about. I got to be honest with you. It's been quite a couple of weeks, couple of days. Couple of things happened since the last time we joined you live. Last time we joined you live was for Godzilla's birthday spectacular, where we celebrated 68 years of Godzilla. We had some crazy announcement. A new Godzilla movie coming out next year, November 3rd, on his birthday. Can't believe it. But in the time since, we've had some tragedy. We've had some video games. We had a Rebirth. And the GOAT. So let's start off by me introducing my co-host today, G73, a.k.a. Meg Z, a.k.a. my brother Chase. How the hell you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Now that God of War Ragnarok's out, I've been staying pretty much busy doing that.
I hear you. I can't wait to talk about that a little later today. Also joining me is my brother JR, who we have a wrestling podcast on his channel. It's kind of crazy. We've got, one episode in? We'll get more.
One episode, yeah.
It was fun. I got to be honest. I had a blast. We watched Crown Jewel.
Crown Jewel.
I was going to say Crown Royale. I think that's a liquor. I'm not sure. I drink cheap beer. But anyhow, we got to start off with, to me, some of the worst news ever since I've been doing the G Show, whether it's been on Facebook, whether we've been doing the podcast, the Geek Out, whatever. Something that hit me hard and happened a week ago today, last Friday. I went to go see Black Panther last Friday. I caught a 9:30 a.m. show. And so I had my phone off. When I got out of the theater, I go, check my phone and stuff. And JR hit us with the message in our group chat. And I was like, bullshit. There's no fucking way. So I called my boy in North Carolina, one of my best friends ever. And I'm like, hey, man, is this real? And he was like, unfortunately, it is. And that was Kevin Conroy passing away at the age of 66. Now, Kevin Conroy, to me, is the epitome of Batman. He is Batman. He is the Batman, the voice. I don't understand. I never wanted to watch this show. I never wanted to see this show. When I saw the first trailer for this show way back when, I was like, nah. Because I'm thinking, if this is supposed to be a continuation of the Michael Keaton stuff, then why is Batman's suit gray and blue and not black with the yellow and the black? The animation style turned me off. And this is all from just the first trailer. And then I watched that prime time episode, and the first episode was with Man-Bat. And it completely changed my life. I was like, this is the greatest thing on TV right now. Like, there's nothing better. And a lot of it had to do with the portrayal of Batman, and that was Kevin Conroy. And his voice, it's just the perfect Batman. He had the perfect Bruce Wayne when he brought it down a notch, and then he had the perfect Batman when he had to get that Batman voice. Nobody's pulled that off. Nobody. No one. And I love all iterations of Batman, but not Adam West, not Michael Keaton, not Val Kilmer, not George Clooney, not Christian Bale, not Ben Affleck, not Robert Pattinson. No one has pulled it off the way this man did. And it hit me hard, man. I just came out of Black Panther, and I was already caught up in my emotions. That movie gets you. It has these emotional beats in Black Panther. So I was already kind of like, oh, man, what an emotional romp. And then I see this, and I was like, wait, what? Crushed my heart and soul for the day. So much so that my Facebook page, I had to take a time out. the stuff that I actually had planned and plotted for that day, I put it to today. I rescheduled it. I had to make one post and that was it. I was like, this day is, last Friday was a day of mourning. The entire weekend for me was a day of mourning. And honestly, the way I got through it, which is freaking crazy, is I watched my favorite episodes of Batman the Animated Series, Batman Beyond, and Justice League. And it kind of like eased the hurt. And it's funny because you're like, oh, you didn't know this dude. You're not. No, I did. And not personally, I didn't know him, but for almost 30 years, I was invested because I kind of not grew up with him, but hit my teenage years with him. So losing the voice of Batman, everything he's done, whether it was the animated series, the DC animated universe, the Arkham games, the bunch of movies, animated movies he did, the freaking live action TV show when they did Crisis on Infinite Earths, man, hit me so hard, man. It hit me so hard. There's about 4 more people on this earth still here that when they go is gonna feel just as bad as this. So I mean, rest in peace, Kevin Conroy, man. Thank you for everything you've given me. Everything. You got me through a lot, honestly. It's crazy to say that, but because of that Batman the Animated Series, I got smarter. I'll put it that way. It kind of changed the trajectory of my life. It changed the course of where I was going. It was like, you know what? Don't do this. Be smart about it. And I owe it all to Batman the Animated Series, and most importantly, Kevin Conroy's portrayal as Batman crushed me. JR, you were the one that brought that news to my attention, so what do you feel?
Well, so I was on the phone with my buddy Travis, who I was just talking about before we started with the mutton chops, and good dude. And we were talking. Funny enough, we were talking about how McFarlane did a Batman the Animated Series Batman, and he's standing on the rooftop with the bat signal, and how I should have picked it up at Target about a month ago, and we're just bullshitting, having a laugh. And then I got a text from the wife, and he gets a text from my wife, because we're all friends, and with the same news. And I didn't look at it because when I'm on the phone, I don't tend to check messages unless it's an emergency, and my phone's going off 60 million times. He checked his message, and he's like, hey, Ariana just messaged me. Kevin Conroy died. I was like, what is that thing? Batman? I was like, you're fucking with me. He's like, Ariana just texted me. I was like, dude, I gotta go. I gotta call her real quick. So I called her. I was like, okay, what the fuck, man? Like, because I don't like that shit. I don't like with the surprise deaths. I like to see it in the news. I don't like when people are sending me this shit because it's like, brings back some fucking bad memories. I'm like, okay, Kevin Conroy died. Where's your source? And she sent me like a list, and I was like, okay, let me look it up. And I wasn't trying, don't want to sound like I was being a dick, but I was like, I can't handle that shit. Not with Kevin Conroy, like, So I look at it, and yeah, he fucking died. And I was on the phone with her. I was video calling, and she was tearing up. I was tearing up. I was like, fucking Batman just died. See, I grew up because, I was born in 94. I grew up with this goddamn show. I grew up with him being the definitive Batman. All the animated movies, he was Batman. The fucking Arkham games, he's Batman. He's Batman. And he's just gone. And I'm just, it's a fucking weird feeling. It's all too familiar for us. It really is. But you hate it when it happens because you always feel that hole, and you sit there, and I was sitting there thinking about it. as my phone goes off telling me to relax my anus. But I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about it. And I'm like, man, fuck. I would have just, you always think, especially with your childhood heroes, one more. Oh, just one more would have been so cool. You know, and it's, I'll never watch the animated series. I'll never play the Arkham games the same way. A newfound appreciation, too, because he was Batman. Like, and that, I cannot stress that enough. As much as I love the Batman with Robert Pattinson, the Dark Knight series, all the live action Batman stuff, Kevin Conroy was Batman. Just like how Mark Hamill is the Joker. They are. You can't argue that. And to me, Batman is fucking gone. It fucking crushes, man. And yeah, rest in peace. Fuck, man. I don't know, like, for my toy show, I don't know how I'm gonna do the voice of Batman and not try to imitate him, you know, because it's gonna be hard, especially now more than ever. Like, I have a legacy to live up to with my dinky little toy show.
You're gonna have to retire Batman now.
Oh yeah, you can't. How do you do it at this point? Like, no more animated Batman movies. It's done.
Yeah.
It's done.
You gotta get a Lego Batman now for your toy show, and then just spoof it. That's how you gotta.
Right?
That's how you gotta do it. That's how you gotta do it. You gotta retire the Bat. Brother Chase. Batman. What did it mean? Did you watch it? Did it when you were growing up? Because I mean, you're pretty much the same age. You were there.
Yeah, I remember. It's bittersweet for me. I mean, maybe bittersweet's not the word, because I didn't get really into Batman till the Arkham games. Now, throughout my whole childhood, you know, I was always introduced with Batman, but the people that would introduce me, my friends, they weren't necessarily great at with the experiences. So, like, I don't know, it with me, like, I would grow up periodically with Kevin Conroy in the Batman animated series, and I think I had like one season of the VHS show, or the series on VHS, and it was Kevin Conroy's, and I remember glimpses of it and stuff. And I remember I used to watch it periodically quite a bit. But it wasn't until like the Arkham games came around when I realized, like, oh, this is the same guy that voiced Batman in the show. And from there on, as an adolescent growing into, you know, a teenager into more of a man, I definitely started to gather, just through the Arkham games, I gathered around Kevin Conroy as Batman. I mean, I love those games. I thought those were great homages to everything Batman. You know, and Mark Hamill as the Joker. I agree. You know, Kevin Conroy is the soul of Batman. He is the entity of Batman. You know, I mean, I've never really cared for the Hollywood Batmans. I mean, I like Christian Bale, and you know, and I like Pattinson, but I just don't. I don't know. Hollywood kind of puts a veil over what it really is, and Kevin Conroy, the personality he was, and his dedication of work to it. It was just, you know, it's like Robert Downey Jr. and being Iron Man. You know, we can't, or Daniel Radcliffe as Harry Potter. We can't see these characters or actors as any other characters. And regardless of how they feel, that's just how that's just how they become. That's a big period of their fame, a big chunk of their fame is to that. And and when Arkham games came out, I fell in love with those games. They were fun. The stories were great. They kept me entertained. And I remember also seeing the video they did on YouTube of Kevin Conroy and the voice of Superman, and they're like doing that live action comedy video, and they're like screwing with each other, and that made me laugh so hard. Kevin Conroy, I am the knight. It's just back and forth, and it's just them just talking shit to each other. I just thought it was great, but for him to be gone now, especially with such a surprising way, and so at 67, I mean, it seemed like just a year ago, he was talking about the Batman stuff he did for the show.
Yeah, he was 66, by the way, 66.
Something I looked up said 67, but
because I think his birthday is in November. I don't know if he made it to his birthday, but everybody was saying 66. But his birthday was in November.
Okay. Well, either way, it was just kind of shocking because, I mean, obviously, I don't know how he died, but the only thing I could say is maybe he had cancer he wasn't talking about, or something. But, to die when he did, that's what's the shocking thing to me, is because, like, in my mind, and I'm sure everyone, it's like he had life left. It's like it's just too soon. And with these things, it's never easy. It's never easy. And the thing is, even though it is familiar, like JR said, and we all can agree with this, it never gets easy, because with our lives and ourselves and our interests and these characters that we fall in love with and make a part of ourselves, pieces of ourselves die when the actors go. And I mean, there is that also the idea of they're not gone. We still have the legacies they've built and stuff, and what we fell in love with. We could always go back to that, but it's never the same, though. It's always bittersweet. And I was so hoping that we would get another Arkham game with Kevin Conroy and stuff, because I didn't accept the third game, Arkham Knight's ending. I just thought that was, I hated it. I mean, I get it, but I was not happy with it, and I was so hoping Conroy would have come back and we would have gotten another game. But now it's like it doesn't even matter anymore, because no one's going to be able to be the voice of Batman. You would have to be one hell of a Batman fan and actor to pull that off. And I mean, you got to understand, it's not just the Arkham games. It's from when he started voicing Batman to the day he died. Yeah. And that's almost, in my opinion, impossible to parallel.
Well, it's 30 years. I mean, that 30 years of Batman legacy, you got to follow up, that's a tall order.
And it's funny, it's funny, Chase, you bring that up, like whoever's going to now, be the next. There's been plenty of other Batmans in the animated realm. And for what it's worth, everybody fits the bill. But Kevin Conroy, like JR said, was the soul of Batman. Or you said that, Chase, but absolutely is the soul of Batman.
Yeah, I said the soul.
And it's kind of like, do they imitate him? Kind of like how Peter Cullen gets imitated as Optimus Prime, if he's not Optimus Prime nowadays. And you talk about legacy characters. Peter Cullen's been doing Optimus Prime now for 40 plus years. For almost 40 years.
Yeah.
For almost 40 years. Let me rephrase that. For almost 40 years. It's like 38 years. So when you think of that, right? And hell, even Frank Welker as Megatron, these characters stick with you, especially for a kid like me, born in the 70s, raised in the 80s, hit the prime in the 90s. It's like, holy crap, I can't let them go. You can't let them go. But unfortunately, life does happen, and it takes its tolls. And just, Kevin Conroy, you are Batman forever, and for always, forever will be. Every time I open up the page in the comic books, since I've heard his voice, that's the voice I hear. I don't hear any of the live action dudes. I don't hear anybody else in the animated world. Kevin Conroy is Batman. So, sleep easy, Dark Knight. Oh boy, I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you. Do me a favor.
We need to go seek an audience with the Court of Owls.
Yeah,
this is unacceptable.
Unacceptable. Right. Somebody bring him back as a somebody bring him back as a Talon or resurrect him through the Lazarus pit. Please. Oh, it would be awesome if that was the case. We resurrect a bunch of people we know too. But rest easy, Kevin Conroy. Thank you for everything, and I mean it, everything you've done for me. Oh God. Next topic, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get all weepy, we go from death to rebirth, and holy shit, what the fuck? Something crazy broke the internet on Wednesday. Literally, well, broke the internet in the kaiju fandom, I would say. And thanks to Brother Chase, which I didn't believe at first. I didn't believe, I'll be honest with you, bro. I did believe you. I was just joshing with you, but...
Oh, I know.
Brother Chase, on Wednesday, while I'm watching AEW Dynamite, it's a great wrestling show, sent a video of Gamera. And it said Gamera Rebirth. And then it said Netflix. And I was like, stop. Don't you dare do that to me. Don't you fucking dare do that to me. But holy crap, this is real. Gamera is actually coming back finally after fucking what? Since Gamera the Brave in 2000, whatever the hell it was.
16 years.
Good God almighty. We're getting Gamera back. Granted, it's anime. But it's on Netflix, and Netflix, honestly, it's hit or miss with the anime. But Gamera is coming back, and I believe that this is one of the best things to happen in the kaiju fandom. We need Gamera. We need Japan's #2 to be out there once again, especially because Godzilla is booming and is going to be continuing to boom for the foreseeable future. So I'm going to start with you, Brother Chase, because you broke this to us. Your thoughts, what the hell's going on?
I've been thinking about it, and I mentioned, I wish it wasn't an anime, but when you brought up, it's probably the best for it, and probably they'll see the reception of it and then go from there. I think that's probably the best, actually exactly what is the best thing for it, because whereas a live action, could go so terribly wrong and be a lot more expensive, an anime could be a thing where it's not as expensive and they can see exactly how well the reception is with Gamera, and if it is fair to the reception, then maybe we'll get more Gamera. I mean, obviously, it's not a thing where I feel like it's just we're just doing this because everyone's wanting it. Actually, I remember following the link to the main website that they posted for it now, and the director's talking about it, and he's saying that I came to Katakawa for this idea in mind, and they already had something in mind themselves that they wanted to do. So they were already planning something with Gamera, and then he got the fill of the role, and so who knows where this leads, but it's being done with Katakawa Anime, and it's being distributed with Netflix. So, I mean, I think it's great. Someone brought up that we're living in a pretty cool renaissance of kaiju with Godzilla being on anime. We got Ultraman, we got Gamera, and Kong, if you will, and some other kaiju stuff. Like Troll coming out and things like that. And I think it's great. But I did not realize how excited I was for Gamera until it came fruitful. And now I'm like, I want to learn more, and I'm stoked to learn about it. Since it's since it's been teased, there's been talks about SH Monster Arts doing a Gamera anime figure and stuff like that. And so I think this is cool. It's cool. It's cool seeing everything come kind of full circle in a reunion. And I'm happy, man. And my favorite thing was when Gamera roared in that teaser trailer. It was like it's the classic Gamera roar, and I missed that.
Yeah.
I didn't think we'd be hearing that again, and 16 years later, here we are. But gosh, I lost my train of thought. But I'm excited. I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to learning more about it. I did find out that it is going to be a world. I haven't found anything completely concrete, but from what I've seen and skimmed through, it sounds like it's going to be a worldwide release.
Oh, so it's coming out.
But
it's coming out.
Yeah, it was going to be Netflix Japan.
Right.
Yeah. So
like
hopefully that sticks true.
I was thinking along those lines, like how Godzilla Singular Point came out on Netflix Japan first, and then got the release out here. Are you saying that this is probably going to all drop at the same time for everybody, all nations?
Yeah, I think that might be the same formula. I think I can see it going that way. But I'm sure we'll learn more as stuff comes out.
All right, so you're not saying that it's coming out at the same time as it is in Japan.
Oh no! Oh, sorry, no. Your mic, you kind of cut out.
Right.
I thought you were asking something else. No, I don't think it's going to be like when Singular Point dropped. I think there's going to be. There's going to be I feel like a gap. I feel like there's going to be a time for the U.S. audience. Just like Singular Point was. But who knows? With them kind of doing the difference right now, and with the acknowledgement, Netflix as a whole, with the acknowledgement of kaiju fans kind of taking a resurgence. There's that word again.
Yep.
I think it's possible we see it drop the same time, but I'm unsure.
JR, Netflix seems to be in the what's the word I'm looking for? Netflix seems to be in the not running. They bring a lot of giant monster kaiju shit to us. Like they don't seem to shy away from it. It's kind of like what Legendary does, and this is before the Godzilla franchise, the MonsterVerse started off over there. Legendary was giving us some cool stuff. I mean, granted, say what you want about Dragon Wars, but hey, giant monsters, right? The other one, the Great Wall, although they weren't giant monsters, they were still kind of bigger than a dog. They were like human-sized lizard monsters. It was all fun and games.
Netflix, these are Chinese aliens. That's all it was.
But it was fun. Netflix seems to be cultivating this culture of kaiju. You have, granted, it's not well received by many, but the Godzilla animated trilogy, the Godzilla Earth animated trilogy. You have Singular Point. You have the upcoming Troll movie, which is coming out. You have the Jurassic Park, Camp Jurassic Park stuff. Granted, it's not kaijus, but still dinosaurs.
The data stuff, yeah.
Yeah. You have Pacific Rim: The Black, which to me, that's a fantastic show. They don't shy away from giving the people giant monster stuff. You got Ultraman, even though granted nobody's grown into Ultra size, which kind of disappoints me, but at the same time I'm digging the show. I give it a pass. But they don't shy away from this stuff, and I'm pretty sure I'm missing stuff that I probably don't watch.
Yeah, the Kong Skull Island anime is coming out.
Kong Skull Island anime, which, okay, I'm going to watch that. We haven't seen anything from that yet, but the question I was going to was, with Gamera now coming out on Netflix in the animated form, is this that production company's name in the hat, name in the arena to again bring Gamera back to the forefront, because it seems with the legendary MonsterVerse, giant monsters can make some money.
It's hard to say, because if we take into consideration the shit Netflix is trying to pull,
which is
with their account sharing, how they're trying to charge an extra $3 a month if you share your account, and that's shooting yourself in the foot. I mean, 3 months ago, Netflix's stock plummeted because they were talking about that, and they haven't shied away from still wanting to do that. That's my cynical side, but it's fucking Gamera. I mean, let's be honest and real here. I don't think Netflix was their first choice. They probably went to Crunchyroll. And, yeah, because Crunchyroll owns Funimation, or Funimation owns Crunchyroll, they merged. So Crunchyroll is worldwide, Funimation's worldwide. I mean, shit, I was telling you, I have a high dive in Crunchyroll, I share my account with like 5 people for Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll's a big thing here in the States. It could have been a money thing, where it's like Crunchyroll didn't want to give them X amount of money, but Netflix shows up and was like, hey, we have kaiju shit on our platform. A lot of it. We'll give you this amount of money. We'll fully fund it for a worldwide release or limited Japanese release, and then the rest of the world later. Do what you want. It could have been that. I think it's also smarter to do that. See, anime is one of the biggest mediums in the world right now. I mean, there's no arguing that. Anime is huge. Manga is huge. And I think it's smarter to do that than do a live-action film, even though in 2016, when that short was released, I was really hoping that would have been a fucking movie. But Gamera is not a household name. Let's be honest. It's not. They think of Godzilla or King Kong. Most people I talk to about Pacific Rim don't even know what Pacific Rim is. This will help start to make that Gamera a household name. Because if you can make Gamera the household name, a little bit more than what it is, then you start with the live action stuff. Then you start with the Gamera cinematic universe. God, I'd love to see that shit. I'm sorry, and I'm very vocal about this, I don't like the Showa Gamera movies. I love making fun of those movies. But the Heisei trilogy is fucking spot on. They're good.
One of the best trilogies ever made, period.
Yes. And Gamera the Brave was okay.
I hate that fucking movie.
It was more Showa Gamera than Heisei.
It wasn't even
Let's
Gamera.
just say that.
Well, no, let me say it was Gamera, but it wasn't Gamera. It was Toto. And in a Puerto Rican household, Toto is not a dog from Kansas nor a giant turtle. It is something on a female. Just saying. I digress. Plus, it didn't even have the Gamera Raw. It was freaking Kong from '76. Get out of here with that bull.
Yeah.
Shit. Come on.
Gamera the Brave's a weird one, but it's nice, and that's one thing I could say in my perspective of this. It's nice to see him come back. it's been a long fucking time, and it's a welcome return. Granted, we'll see how the anime turns out. There's a chance that it's crap, but I don't think so. You have the premise of the Heisei trilogy, and even kind of maybe the show, but whatever, of the Atlanteans created the Gaios and all these other monsters, and Gamera was created by them to stop them all. Ripe for an anime. Roll with that shit. Go with the camp. Go with the absurdity. Let's fucking do this. Because if there's one kaiju where you can be that fucking absurd with, it is Gamera. Oh. We've seen the Showa Gamera movies.
Listen, there's only 2 Showa Gamera movies that rock hard. The original one and Gamera versus Baragon. Those 2 movies took itself serious. They weren't joking around. They were legit, especially Baragon. I put that shit up there. I put Gamera versus Baragon up there with some of the top Godzilla movies in the Showa era. Absolutely, hands down. Fantastic movie. I love it because it was serious. It was violent as shit too. Gauss is okay. Everything after that kind of just goes in the water. They're fun. They're goofy. Absolutely. But up until the Heisei series, Gamera and Gamera versus Baragon, top-notch flicks. Then you got the trilogy, the Heisei trilogy. I'm looking at this poster. You see the it looks like the mana lines going through his chest, just like it was in Gamera 2 Advent of Legion. And if this is called Rebirth, and this takes place like after Gamera 3, Revenge of Iris, bro, I'm done. Get it off. I'm not even gonna go see Godzilla and Kong. What a title! What a title! I'm not even gonna go see it. I'll be like, yo, you know what? I love you, Legendary. I love Godzilla versus Kong. I do. I love you, GVK. I love you to death. But if this is a continuation of Gamera 3, shut up. But I could also see this being that proof of concept trailer come to life now in animated form. And I'm not mad at that at all. Because we all, when we saw that, we all wanted new Gamera. We were like, oh, come on, what are we doing? What was that, 2015? New York Comic Con 2015?
Yeah, that was like right during Shin Godzilla days.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? I would have, man, especially after seeing Shin Godzilla, give me that damn Gamera movie, please. Wash this taste out my mouth.
And that trailer, like, it was so fucking, like, the suspense in it, the horror, the holy fuck, like, it's 2 minutes. I watch that all the time still to this day. It's like, why the fuck could it? The monster was awesome. It was like, he shot a black hole thing that, like, disintegrated in a circular, like, fucking brilliant creation of a kaiju there. And you're doing nothing with it. Thank you. That's what I wanted. Fuck Gamera 4. Fuck that. Let's just throw it away.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I would not be mad if this is that proof of concept realized in an animated form. I'm so down for it. I'm down for Gamera, period. Okay? Because again, if this is what puts Gamera back up on a pedestal where people could be like, oh yeah, what about this guy? Because what if this, hear me out, speculation time, people. What if this is, Chase, how do you pronounce their company's name again? Katakawa?
Yeah, Katakawa.
What if this is Katakawa's play at trying to sell, Jimmy out here, trying to sell Toho the rights to Gamera for the Godzilla verse that Toho's about to set up. I'm just saying, could you imagine? Because here's the fucking thing. Here's the thing. We saw what Godzilla versus Kong did. We see what Freddy versus Jason did. We know that these cross. You see what the Avengers have done, right? We know that these crossover events can work. We know it. But what is that one crossover event? Now I'm not saying that the entire world is clamoring for it, but the kaiju world is. What is that one crossover that they've been clamoring for? What is it? It's Godzilla versus Gamera. I'm gonna Hadouken you through the screen. Get out of here. It is Godzilla versus Gamera. Are you kidding me? Could you imagine? I mean, hell, think about it. Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, 1991. The Godzillasaurus is on the beach, and all of a sudden it starts getting shelled by the Pacific Fleet, and it starts screaming like Gamera. What? What?
Well, one thing we gotta think about here is that, I mean, in the King of the Monsters art book, Gamera's in there.
Gamera's in there.
And it makes me wonder, I mean, it's not like you could just have the rights to draw that. It makes me wonder, like, who'd they go to be like, look, can we draw Gamera? And, you know, obviously everyone's going to know it's Gamera. You know, who do you go to with having the permission to do that?
No, well, it's a tongue-in-cheek thing because it's just the art book. It wasn't in the film, and it could have just been a giant turtle. I mean, I've seen plenty of giant turtles in my life in movies. I mean, Gamera popped up on Dragon Ball one time. Just saying, you know what I mean? But I mean, look, the Never-Ending Story. This giant turtle. Like when I first saw the Never-Ending Story, I was like, oh my god! And then I saw Gamera, and I thought it was the same thing. But because I was a kid, I didn't know better. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. Giant turtles have been a part of, you know, folklore and history for eons. This is why I love the Gamera trilogy, because they tie it with Atlantis. All I'm saying is, what if this is Katakawa's play at getting Gamera into Toho and, you know, setting up, possibly for kaiju enthusiasts, the greatest kaiju movie of all time. Of all time. Tell me if I'm lying. I know I'm not. You know I'm not.
That would be like us watching Marvel versus DC, the movie, instead of playing that shitty Mortal Kombat game.
No, I don't want to ever see that movie ever. No. Unless it's...
I'm sitting here thinking, like, why not in the Monsterverse?
No.
You could do it.
No.
No, you don't want Godzilla, Gamera, and Kong to have that three-way showdown?
It's because when it comes to, let's say, the States, then there's a lot more red tape. When it's Japanese, you know what I'm saying? It's a handshake.
It's cut and dry in Japan.
It's cut and dry. It's a handshake. Remember, like, in the late 60s, early 70s, if I'm not mistaken, they had the Godzilla and Gamera on stage together for, like, a children's thing. It's a handshake thing, you know what I mean? And if Katakawa is not doing nothing with Gamera and this Netflix show takes off and he's like, people want more, then what if they say, hey, Toho, we know what you're doing. Here.
Okay.
Do it. Take it. Give us a little bit of the cut. You know what I mean? But take it. I lose my shit. I think everybody in the kaiju community would lose their shit. And it's about time. Like, these things they're not impossible anymore. They're not unattainable anymore. This is something that you just can't imagine. Like, that'll never happen because it's happening. It's happening in this day and age. Shit like this is happening. So it could happen, and that's what I think is going to happen. This is what I hope happens. I'm gonna say this is what I hope happens, because listen. Could you imagine at the end of Toho's Godzillaverse, it's Godzilla and Gamera in Destroy All Monsters? Come on, man. Come on! I can see it now. Gamera doing the spinny thing while Rodan is coming in. I mean, you know me. I love Rodan. I love it. But I wouldn't mind him getting knocked out by Gamera with the spinny spin. I love it so much. Good God Almighty, let me stop.
King Kong played a racquetball with Anguirus as the ball.
So I don't ever think King Kong is going to Toho. But could you imagine if a deal was struck where Toho was given the rights to make Kong again because of everything that's going on? I just like a gesture of goodwill, good faith. Like, okay, we're doing Kong over here. Toho, you want a Kong too? Go ahead.
That would be awesome.
It would make people's heads explode, because now all of a sudden we have a culture clash that's not really clashing. You know what I mean? Like, we're coming together and we're like, okay, And I don't want, and of course, it's unavoidable who does it better. Obviously, you've got the CG shit that looks absolutely fantastic. Say what you will about GVK, the movie looks great. The monsters on screen look fantastic, and when you got the setup to see it, it's even better. And we know that Toho is probably going to utilize CG, but I'm hoping they go suitmation more with the aspects of CG thrown in, a la Shin Godzilla. It's a win-win. It's a win-win. I'm pretty sure we could get a decent-looking Kong suit now, especially because in 1976 we got a good-looking Kong suit. I'm just saying. I'm making a lot of hand movements here. People can't see me. I'm sorry. I'm having a good time. I'm having too much of a good time. Because now I want this. I want this to happen. We gotta will this shit into fruition. We have to. We have to. Oh.
Well, I mean, it's funny because before Gamera was announced, we just got done talking about how we might not see Gamera for a really long time. And we talked about that in the Godzilla podcast for his birthday, and then he just pops up, 2 weeks later?
Surprise,
like,
motherfucker!
Surprise!
He was like, surprise, motherfucker, I ain't dead yet.
He shows up on life support, and he's like, you thought I was gone? It's only just begun.
Then he rage heals like Kratos.
So, real quick. What if the ultimate surprise happens? And this is way off topic because this is not something I know much about, but Chase brought this up in our group chat, so I'm gonna just throw this out there. What if in that monster game, that's the mobile monster game that Godzilla is now a part of or whatever? Gigabash. What if one of the four is actually Gamera?
That would be. I'd buy the game.
That's Toho. That's Toho announcing. The Gamera's now a Toho monster.
Exactly. Yeah. Lose my shit again.
Wasn't Gamera the Brave distributed by Toho?
I think the trilogy and Gamera the Brave was distributed by Toho.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious to know the backstory a bit more. I'll have to look into that because, I mean, if Toho owns any kind of licensing or distribution rights, throw Gamera and Gigabash, and we'll all buy the game and only use Gamera, Godzilla, and whatever fucking Toho monsters they throw in there, because fuck all the rest.
And the guys that have been behind Gigabash, they've said that they're not just going to do just Godzilla monsters only. They said if they can get the chance to do Gamera, they will.
Well, there is a Japanese game, I forget what it's called, but it does have Godzilla, it does have Gamera, it does have Ultraman in it.
City Shrouded in Darkness.
So it's like the collaborations have been done as recently as what, PlayStation 3? 4?
Oh, dude, City Shrouded in Darkness, like, that game came out, I think, like 2017, 2018, Japan.
Yeah, that game's not that old. It came out like a year after the Godzilla Bandai game.
Oh, yeah. So let's stop playing and say let's stop playing and say this can't happen because I mean it's happened in multiple media already.
I hope it does. I really hope it does. Fuck, like, have Gamera and Godzilla fight each other. And then then you have in the movie like Godzilla fighting Gaios or fucking Guron or Barugon or, you know, and then Gamera's gotta fight fucking Rodan and King Ghidorah and a moose. I don't know. Just make this shit happen.
Now, we all know what everybody wants. We want Baragon versus Barugon. Let's stop the shit and make it happen, Toho. Come on. But
the definitive Baragon.
That's it. There could be only one.
I want Gamera versus Mecha Gamera.
Oh, that would...
It's a possibility.
Wow.
That's because Gamera has been... That's what makes that Gamera trilogy, the Hesai trilogy, so great. It's rooted in lore.
Yeah.
You know? So they're not gonna do any kind of... Think about it.
they also tend to try to go to more of a realism aspect with Gamera too.
Exactly.
And then whereas Godzilla, it's like, let's make this like we have weapons that can harness plasma energy.
Yeah. Oh, remember this Mecha King Ghidorah head from the future? Let's use its tech, reverse engineer it, and make Mecha Godzilla. And all I can think of is the engine room's on fire. I love it so much.
Well, I always question that. I'm like, how? How would you even have the whatever?
Just do
whatever.
Hey! You don't ask questions. You just go with the flow. All right. Listen, I'm not here to start any conspiracy theories, but there ain't no way we got cell phones if it wasn't for the Roswell crash. I'm just saying.
I can back. I'm with you on that one. No, like I got you back on that argument.
Well, from the unfortunate passing of a legendary Batman to the rebirth of Gamera to Ragnarok, the end of everything. Of course he leaves now. Oh, he's back. All right. To Ragnarok. God of War Ragnarok. We ain't going to spoil it. I don't even know if Brother Chase is back. Is he back? I see his little picture, but I don't hear him. This better not be the same thing as last time when he kept going in and out.
He might have muted himself.
My internet shut off.
Oh, all right. Well, now you're back. Did you hear where we're going with this?
No.
God of War Ragnarok.
Sweet.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. No spoilers. No spoilers. No spoilers.
I haven't played it yet.
All right, so this is what we're going to do for this particular segment here. Brother Chase, I'm going to tell you where I'm at, and you tell me if you're there or not.
Okay.
I just finished Free and Freya from I just finished whatever Freya's land is from. I just finished that first half. Have you gotten to that part?
Oh yeah, I'm way past that.
Jeez Louise, Papa Cheese. And you playing on the hardest mode? I've been playing it on easy and I couldn't pass the damn dragon. Fuck.
Yeah, I've been that's one of the things yeah, I just before we got on, I just stopped at a part, and yeah, some shit's unfolded.
Yeah, so
but yeah, I'm playing on Give Me God of War, and the thing about that is what's really cool about the 2018 game is that the move sets are the same, and the enemies that attack you have the same move sets. So when I'm playing, I mastered the 2018 game on Give Me God of War. So going into this is no different, just different things to learn. But yeah, so yeah, like the hardest bosses, I know their move sets already, and like the travelers and stuff like that, and things like that. I playing on Give Me God of War is really no different. But yeah, I'm about where I'm at, I had to look up like the chapter listing, and I'm about 6 chapters still away from the ending.
Okay, so let me ask you if you if you paid attention to your save points, how many hours have you put in?
Oh gosh, the last time I checked, I'm at the 34-hour mark.
Good God, man! I just got to like 16 and a half hours today, right before I started the podcast.
Yeah, and that's me not even really doing the side quests, really.
What?
Oh. Yeah, that's me just campaign-wise.
Oh, man, that's unfortunate. I was like, I'm beating this game this weekend. I guess not. Shit.
Yeah, I'm surprised how much I still have left of it, and then on top of that, the side quest still, which I eventually plan to delve into that, because I was getting to the point where I'm like, okay, I gotta be close to the end, And when I learn like where I'm at, I'm like, oh wow, like nothing has really greatly happened yet, and I still have this much left of it. And like where I'm at, like each chapter takes about 4 to 6 hours to complete to the next one of the main campaign. So it's like, but that's gonna give me God of War. So.
Okay, yeah. See, and that's the thing. That's how I've been playing. I've been playing like by chapter. So I'll play a whole chapter and then I'll save it, and then the next day I'll play. But today I didn't go to work, so this morning I woke up. I played a whole chapter, and it was actually pretty cool. I like, and this is not going into spoiler mode, but I like the typical PlayStation AAA game, like Spider-Man, for instance. I like that you can play now as Atreus for a little bit. You know, you could do a little bit of exploring with him. I thought that was a really cool thing. So I did the Atreus in Jotunheim. I'm not good with Norse words, so I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah,
I
would say that is. I would say that is a big spoiler.
Well, no,
but
not really.
But yeah, that stuff's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a good time.
That stuff's been a lot of fun for me too.
That was fun, and then I played the next part, which was, like I said, the Kratos quest in the Otherheim, whatever the hell. Everything ends with I look, and I apologize to anybody who might get offended.
So you got like Vanaheim, Jotunheim, Muspelheim, Niflheim,
and all I want
Midgard, Svartalfheim, and Asgard.
Yeah, and all I want is original God of Warheim. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
Well, just keep playing. You might get excited.
Well, all I'm saying is...
I'm not saying I know, because I'm still playing it too.
Well, there was a couple of things that I did enjoy, especially during this last chapter. Basically, just like, you know, getting a rundown of the history. I dug that. I really did dig that a lot, and I was very happy for that. As we talked about, there's some musical cues in there. Doesn't do anything to change the game, but it's just like, hey, I know that sound. Oh, I know that music. I like that a little throwback. Here's my biggest concern with this game, and again, you're way farther than me, and I'm nowhere near done. And I know this is what it's going to be because it's following the same formula as the original. This is just the middle game. This is just the middle act of a trilogy. So we're going to get to that point where I'm going to be like, now I got to wait another 2-3 years for the next God of War, and that's going to piss me off. A lot. But as for the game itself, I mean, I still have the same old gripes. I love the narrative. I hate the gameplay. I fucking hate the gameplay. And I've got the buttons mapped exactly the way I need them to be mapped, and I still hate the gameplay. I don't like it, man. I don't. Oh, God, I hate it. Pisses me off, man. The narrative is fantastic. Everything else is driving me nuts.
You know what I mean, though?
That's a big difference. Let you speak, JR.
Well, I was going to say, you know what it is? Because I haven't played Ragnarok, played 2018, and own all the God of Wars for their original consoles, plus the remakes for the PS3, so I like God of War. It's because we're used to the old ones and how they play, and the way they tried to... I don't want to call it the, Last of Us syndrome, but they put that camera way too close. Like, I was talking about this in the group chat, and I was like, what if we just, kept it up close when you're walking around, wandering through the world, but when you get into combat, back that camera up. Just, a few feet. Give us some breathing room, so we know what's coming from behind us. I don't know. That's one thing I would wish that they would implement, because it not even as a a throwback to the original, but because the combat of the original and how the camera was set up was for that combat, and the combat is kind of similar, but you're too close. I don't know how to explain it. It's a weird thing to fucking complain about or explain. But that's one of my biggest gripes with God of War 2018. It was like, let's just take a few steps back from Kratos' ass when we're at least in combat. You want to get up close during the story, that way you're more immersed, fine. When I'm throwing down with a troll and a few wolves, I need some breathing room a little bit. That's how I feel about it.
I mean, I definitely see that as a complaint, but I think it all comes down to preference. You know, I mean, with me, I don't get bothered by that because I pay attention to the indicators that tell me when an enemy's behind me. You know, the game has these things set up, so you don't do that. And also, whereas, you know, the old God of War games are more arcade style. This is straight up an action role playing game, and so you know you're gonna get like you know the Uncharted, you know the more AAA Last of Us style camera styles, you know, and I mean, and I get that being a complaint, but with me, I mean, I don't know, I'm not to like knock on anyone, but it's like I just feel like I personally can like I adapted very well to that change. And I, you know, at first I was like the same way, like, man, I'm not used to this being, you know, I'm used to the fast-paced God of War games where I'm just unleashing hell. But where this one is more controlled, but yet again, you know, I've played Gears of War my whole life too. And this is no different to me either. You know, and I've played, you know, Darksiders as well, and you know, the cameras are not any different that way. And, you know, the one thing for me as well is as I progress in the games of the 2018 game and this, I will say that the criticism is the game does not explain very well how combat works. But, you know, I've been playing the 2018 game since it came out till just a few weeks ago where I completed it again, and I've 100%ed it multiple times. I've learned how to make this combat system fluid and to where it is fast paced, to where I have it in my head to where it's not slow, it's not boring, it's not hard to do. And I notice no difference. But that's just, I don't know where that comes from really, but I have at least made it that way to my play style. Because, you know, I've changed the buttons to where X is my light attacks, you know, triangle is my heavy attack, you know, and, you know, I've changed it to where it's like old hack and slash games, you know, and, you know, that definitely aids it. But where I'm at, you know, that stuff isn't really the gripe with me myself because it just doesn't bother me.
Okay, so
yeah,
I'm gonna throw a monkey wrench in your Gears of War, God of War comparison. That's not true at all. Gears of War, the enemy, it's more of a rail shooter if you think about it. It's more of a rail shooter. They come at you from the front. Everything is up front. Nothing is getting behind you. None of that stuff unless you're playing like horde mode.
So I'm talking the positioning of the camera.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. But what I'm trying to say is the position of the camera. This is the problem I have with PlayStation games since
The Last of Us?
Since the PlayStation 4, period. It seems like every one of their games, if it's not a first-person shooter, it's the same exact game. It is the third person over the shoulder, right up the ass. You know, whether it's The Last of Us, whether it's Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, Infamous, it's the same damn thing. And it's like, yo, could we switch this up? God of War never needed that. DayZ did it. I'm pretty sure Ratchet and Clank does it. They never ever needed to do that. You should have left God of War the way God of War was.
Even Uncharted.
That's what I'm saying. Uncharted. They're all the same game. Literally. It's a copy-paste. It drives me nuts.
And even Ghost of Tsushima is that way.
Exactly.
But it's not even just Sony. Capcom does it with the Resident Evil remakes.
Oh, well,
here's the flip side of that. It works for those.
It works for that. And you got to remember, they did it first with Resident Evil 4, and it worked. That's still one of the greatest games ever made.
But I will say, like, yeah, Sony, after The Last of Us, adopted this goddamn camera angle, and I feel like, you know, I don't want to sit here and say that it has to be a check mark to get these God of War games made. Okay, it has to be like this with the camera. I don't want to say that, but god damn, it feels like it.
You also have to keep
every
in mind
Sony game was like that.
These new God of War games are filmed with a one frame camera. They don't cut away to where they have different cameras setups. So it's one camera at one time. I mean, but I don't know how you could do that technologically to make it to where it zooms out the way you want it to.
It's not. We're not talking about. Yeah, we're not talking about the way they make the way they film the game. What I'm trying to say is, why does everything Sony does, and because think about it, the PlayStation, you have a variety of different games. You got all the third-party games and all that shit. But Sony itself, it seems like every single one of their games that ain't a first-person shooter that's come out on a PS4. And think about it. When was the last time Sony made a first-person shooter? Sony made a first-person shooter for the PS4. The first fucking the Killzone, last Killzone game, which dropped that release. Shadow something? Yeah.
Shadowfall,
They don't do it. Everything is this over-the-shoulder They did not need to do that with God of War. They could have told the same exact story.
Even the Order of 1886 was that way too.
What?
Yeah.
And I mean, Star Wars wasn't Sony, but even Star Wars.
Yeah, but you can't count Star Wars because that's multi-platform. I'm talking about Sony games. Sony, the ones that are made by Sony.
I don't think it's specific to Sony. I think it's just the norm. Whereas I see you guys complain about it, I don't see it as a way where if it's a broken thing, so why fix it? I think it's just what's being adopted nowadays.
But that's the problem. The gameplay gets repetitive.
You may not like it, but it's not a thing where it's. I don't feel like it's a thing where it's talked about to the point to where it's like everyone complains about this.
So I'm gonna put it like this. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. I agree with you 100%. But these are my gripes. God of War was not broken. There was no reason to fix it. None. Zero. It was not broken. So when you have, let's say, on a PS4, PS3, let's say with The Last of Us, Uncharted, okay? Those are brand new IPs. They started. That's how they were. They started that way. They continued that way. There's been no deviation from that. When PS4 comes out and you get Horizon Zero Dawn, fantastic game. I absolutely love it. And honestly, I hope that Horizon Zero Dawn 2 is on sale for Black Friday because I need to get that game. I need to own it. I need to play it. It also adopted that thing, and it was an original game. So that's how it was. This is how it starts, and this is the way I want to play it. When God of War, okay, had God of War 1, 2, 3, 2 PSP games, and Ascension, 6 games. All of a sudden, don't forget about the mobiles. All of a sudden, change it and goes to the now adopted Sony way of making video games. Again, I take nothing away from the narrative. Listen, we wouldn't even be having this conversation if God of War 1 sucked. And I'm not talking about 2018. Yeah. I'm talking about the original God of War. If it sucked, people jumped onto the hack and slash. But what they also did was they gave you a great narrative. They continued it. In God of War 2, it upped the ante. God of War 3 knocked it out the fucking park. Everything was coming together. Ascension 1, it's fun. But it didn't, by being a prequel, it wasn't like, the story for God of War 2018 and so far with this one, Ragnarok, fantastic. They're on point. They're on par. It's what makes God of War God of War. My beef, though, was it wasn't broken. You did not have to fix it. And here's my biggest complaint. I just watched something the other day, yesterday, as a matter of fact, with the original Kratos actor. And this is where I was like, wait, what? That's why they did it? This is why I can't respect this shit. I'm going to play it. I bought it. I gave it its money. It's got my money. It does got my money. He said that when they was doing God of War 2018, they were doing the mocap stuff. And he said when they did the original God of War games, they did the mocap stuff. but it was with a different actor, and he was doing the voice. So now they wanted something different. He was okay with that. His beef was they never told him anything. They didn't tell him, hey, this is not what we're looking for. They didn't say shit to him. They just completely cut him off. They ghosted him. Bro, that don't fly with me. That don't fly with me. So now I throw darts at this game.
And I don't know if that's just him being salty about it, but everything I read, and everything I've heard, whether or not it's true either, is because they wanted an older Kratos.
He could have done
T.C. Carson did not deliver that voice-wise.
T.C. Carson is freaking 60-something years old. He's old. How old is he? I don't understand it. He's old. When I watched this interview yesterday,
what I gather is the voice they tried to do of how they wanted this Kratos to sound. T.C. Carson could not do it for their vision.
Listen, I don't buy that, especially after the interview I saw with him, because he's old. He speaks like an older person, and he has that. And I'm not taking away nothing.
I like Christopher Judge a lot better, to be honest.
He's the worst. Now I'm gonna have to completely disagree with you. Now I'm gonna have to go completely the opposite way. I'm gonna go radical the other way.
Oh no, this performance that he does in the game
is terrible.
Is my favorite.
It's absolutely horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Everything he does.
The movie voted for him for Character of the Year.
He's not gonna win. Award. He's not gonna win. I'll tell you who's gonna win. There's a toss-up. It's not Kratos. It's a toss-up. It's a toss-up between the Power Washer from Power Wash Simulator and Goat from Goat Simulator 3. That's the toss-up.
I know T.C. Carson's not on the listing, so I know he won't win. So I guess I don't really care.
Of course he's not on the list because Sony ghosted him. Because Sony was like, oh no, we can't do that. Listen, I was absolutely freaking mortified when I heard that they ghosted him. I was like, really? If it wasn't for that dude's voice, in all honesty, it's kind of like the Kevin Conroy syndrome. It was nobody better. Nobody better. And I do like this dude. I really do. But you can't sit here and say, well, Sony...
I disagree with that. I don't think T.C. Carson would have been great for this type of role they had planted. I really don't.
He's an actor who's been in many, many Hollywood movies and TV shows, and then he voiced Kratos 6 times. Okay?
My guy, I'm gonna throw this at you. Okay? I'm gonna be the middleman here. See, I like this little game called Silent Hill 2.
Oh boy.
And the original voice actor, when they were doing the HD ports, got fucked over. And they decided to use Troy Baker to re-record the original voice actor's lines without paying the original voice actor his royalties that he was owed for the fucking time period between 2000 and the time that the HD collection came out. So what I'm trying to say is Silent Hill 2, the guy that voiced James, I forget his Guy something, he got fucked over worse than any of this God of War shit. But that seems to be like a thing that happens in video games, is people getting fucked over. On Twitter, Mick Gordon, the composer of Doom 2016 and some of Doom Eternal, there's apparently a lawsuit about to form between id Software and Mick Gordon because the head honcho at id Software made a Reddit thread basically shitting on Mick Gordon and how they offered Mick Gordon a shit ton of money for him to keep his mouth shut, and he turned the money down.
And which is funny, because remember, Ray, when Doom Eternal came out and we were talking about, like, why are they doing this rap intro in the commercials? When they're doing the Doom Eternal commercials and it wasn't metal music anymore or guitar, it was all rap music, and you brought up, why are they doing this? Now we know why.
That's why. That's why the Doom Eternal soundtracks were never fucking released. This is why. Because, and this is, like, I wanted to just bring this up because this is a good point to bring this shit up on. Can video game companies stop fucking people over for 5 fucking minutes? Mick Gordon was done dirty. The original voice actor for Kratos, done dirty. The voice actor for James Sunderland in Silent Hill 2, pretty much every Silent Hill voice actor.
I think the voice actress for Bayonetta was ruined really bad.
Good point.
Yeah.
That was a big thing. But didn't they pay her off though at the end? Didn't she say one thing and then all of a sudden she got money?
They were only going to give her like $5,000 for her voice acting.
Yeah, that was the same thing with Silent Hill 2 to the HD collection. Pretty much, again, I'm sorry I can't remember James's voice actor. Konami offered him a mediocre sum to buy the rights outright because he did the motion capture for James as well. To outright buy his likeness, buy his voice, and throw it the fuck out to re-record all the voice lines for the HD collection, and he took him to court and won.
Wow.
So, I'm just saying, video game companies as a whole, stop fucking over the people we like and hiring new people we don't like so much. Not talking about the new guy who voices Kratos, but Troy Baker to voice James. Fuck out of here.
Listen, ain't nothing
It's like when they got Troy Baker to voice Joker in Batman Origins. I thought he was terrible.
What? Yeah. No way. No. So and that's the thing. I
couldn't stand Troy Baker's Joker.
Oh, I liked it because it was supposed to be Joker's first appearance. It was like, let's say, a decade before Arkham Asylum. So I kind of dug that. I did. I really did. And all joking aside, Arkham Origins needs a fucking remaster. I'm just throwing it out there.
That was my favorite Arkham games.
Was it? That was your favorite one?
Yeah, that was my favorite one.
Dude, that's a
really. I haven't played Arkham Origins yet.
Dude, it's a
I thought the story was very great.
Yes, and the fact that it's during Christmas and the Christmas music in the background, it lends to the ambience of Gotham City and what Batman's got to deal with. Yeah, I got to agree with Brother Chase. It's not my personal favorite Arkham game, but it is by far, if you're going to rate the Arkham games, they kind of even out. Like there's pros and cons to all of them, and then they just level the fuck out. They're all just one great game. I love it.
Yeah.
So Arkham Origins, is it more open world like Arkham Knight, or is it more like Arkham?
It's pretty much the same. I mean, it's a little bit more limited on the things you can do, but it's pretty much the same. It's still like open world.
Yeah, it's the map of Arkham City. It's the map of Arkham City. I don't think it's as open. It might be a little bit limited, but you don't feel it. It's
yeah.
Is it's on PS4, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No. It's on no.
If you do their like PlayStation Now thing or their PS Plus game thing, it's in the catalogs of games.
It was a PS3 game?
It was a PS3
It was an Xbox 360 and PS3.
Yeah, because when I moved out to Vegas, I bought a new PS3 and it came with Arkham Origins. I already had Arkham Origins for the 360, so I traded it in for because it came with Arkham Origins and The Last of Us. So I traded it in for credit, for store credit.
I'll see.
But I think you're right. Chase.
The Xbox.
I think you're right, Chase. Because if I'm not mistaken, they were supposed to like put it on the catalog, the 360 version. So like the original version is supposed to be on the catalog where you can download it now.
Yeah. I checked on PlayStation a couple months ago and it was there, and I almost subscribed for $10 to like get something to play, but then I'm like, yeah, I've been there. But one thing I liked about Origins, I know we're going off topic with the God of War thing, but the one thing I liked is I like the Bruce Wayne that's still grieving and making mistakes type Batman. Yes. That's what I loved about Origins.
Absolutely.
Dude, I can't believe this. It was released in 2013, the same year the PS4 launched.
Yeah.
The PS.
Get the fuck out of here! I can play it on PC though.
Yeah, no, the game is fantastic, dude. I'm telling you, absolutely, Chase is correct. The game, it's so good. I love that game. But I love that game the way I love T.C. Carson as Kratos, the only Kratos, the greatest Kratos of all time. He is the god of fucking war. He is the god of war. Yo, and if anybody thinks, now I love Brother
he's
Chase.
Not that anymore.
Yeah, he got ghosted. He's the true ghost of Sparta, which is why he is the greatest god of war, because he's been ghosted. He's the ghost of Sparta. He is the god of war.
I'm the god of war.
You know what though? Here's the deal. Here's the thing though. All joking aside, I love you, Brother Chase. I'm not mad at you at all.
Oh, I know.
You know what I would love to see in the third God of War, this version of God of War? I really would love to see T.J. Carson come back in a capacity where maybe Kratos has to fight his demons, and it's him. You know what I mean? Maybe they even get to that point where they can pull the camera back a bit. I would love to see just little things implemented because here's the deal. In the 2018 God of War, I wasn't getting anything God of War. I was not. I hated it. I was like, what the fuck? And then the Blades of Chaos came in. And I was like, oh, shit. And then I was back to God of War, right? I was like, here we go. Change the button scheme. Here we go. Because again, it was like, you should have seen it coming, but the way the narrative was going, it was like, what the fuck is this? And it all came together in a perfect blend of harmony, if you will. This one, God of War Ragnarok, so far, again, you're 15 hours past where I'm at. So, but where I'm at so far, I'm like, they're dropping things. Like JR asked me before the podcast, do you start with the Blades of Chaos? Yes, you do. Makes sense, right? There's more callbacks to the original series in this game that I love. I deeply enjoy. And again, I'm not gonna say this. I'm not gonna shit on Kratos, this version of Kratos. I'm not gonna shit on him. He does the fucking job. He does the job. Man, I tell you, dude, right before the podcast, I'm running around flying, whatever the freaking time I'm running around in, right? And he's recounting the history, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh no, I remember that. Oh, it was awesome.
All I'll say is if you like those callbacks, I just got past where they dropped the biggest fucking one.
Shut up.
You will probably be really excited.
Shut up. Is it like when like in the first one when like you're on the boat and all of a sudden like Zeus comes out of the clouds and you're like, Zeus?
No. It's
all right. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Stay with you for the rest of the game.
Oh yeah, got my ears.
I swear to God, if it's the blood, not the fucking the Blade of Olympus, I swear to God, if it is.
Well, you know what? It probably is, and I'm sorry to spoil anything because I picked up something and it was like, this is a hilt for an ancient weapon, a sword of some sorts. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Dude, I swear to God.
Notice how quiet Brother Chase
is. On hold, and I will go buy that game right now.
Notice how quiet Brother Chase is. Shut up, Chase. Don't say a goddamn thing.
Shut the fuck up, Chase.
Wait. Listen. Let's go from God of War, okay? GOW to GOY, Game of the Year. All right? So the Game of the Year list came out. I don't have it up in front of me, but if one of you two do, please feel free to recite.
So the only big mentions to me that I noticed off of that was Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, and Horizon. The other stuff were like Japanese games that I don't have a taste for. But other than that, those three games were like the biggest AAA contenders that I saw.
What's Horizon? What's Horizon? What's that?
Horizon
2.
Oh, okay, all right, Horizon. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Here's the reason too, because like I've been kind of seeing lists, and I'm like, oh, No Man's Sky is on there for like the 5th year in a row. There hasn't been shit released. Like, let's be real here. Like, this generation, the PS5 and Series X gen so far, it's been slim fucking pickings.
You know,
so all the nominees. Not to cut you off, Jerry. Go back to when it's done. But I just wanted to bring up Plague Tale, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade.
Okay,
Chronicles 3.
Real quick, I played A Plague's Tale. I played Chapter 1. I didn't finish it. Oh, it's fucking great. Honestly, it's really good. I wish, but I didn't know. I thought it was a whole complete game, and then all of a sudden, like, I had it for a month, and then it was like, oh yeah, it's leaving, and I'm like, what do you mean it's leaving? And then Chapter 2 is coming on. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Don't do that, video game people. Don't do that. Put the fucking game out in its entirety. Come on, give us the God of War, okay? Give us the fucking game. Oh, but A Plague's Tale, honestly, it's more stealth than action, and the action is kind of funky, but not funky in a bad way. It's different. You use a slingshot, pretty much. You use a slingshot.
It looks like a really fun game,
and it is.
I just don't have anything else to play it on, since it's not on PS4 right now. So.
Wait. So it's.
I think it's coming to PS5 at a later date or something like that.
Oh, I didn't know that's an Xbox exclusive right now.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, I didn't know that. See, I didn't know that.
I could be wrong. I thought I looked it up eventually, and it said to like other consoles later.
But here's the point I was gonna make. You have fucking Stray as Game of the Year.
Why not?
Wait, what is that? The cat game? Is that the cat game?
Yeah, that game is super limited, and it's a puzzle game. There's like no story to it. That's not a fucking game. It's a tech demo.
Okay.
How is that up for Game of the Year? That's what I mean. Like, I'm sick of this generation right now. There's nothing to play.
Because it sold a ton of money.
Well, I'm sure it will. I mean, let's be real. The reason why it did is you get to play as a cat and jump on shit. That's the appeal. I'm all about exploitation.
When has the Game Awards ever gone off of the fan recommendation? We all know it's publicity. It's all commercialized. They do the player's voice, but that doesn't get any recognition. Those are just honorary mentions. We can probably tell who's going to either win. It's either going to be God of War Ragnarok or it's either going to be Elden Ring. And between those two, and it's because those are just the most receptive games of the year. I mean, I would be happy with Horizon 2 getting it because I did like the first game and I thought it was great, but that game got so much shit when it came out. I don't see it happening.
Wait, what? Horizon 2 got shit?
Yeah, Horizon 2 got so much crap when it came out, just bug-wise and stuff, which is funny because I've come up through so many bugs in Ragnarok. It's crazy. Like, characters are registering late in the battlefield, and they just did an update before I got on, so hopefully it fixes it. But.
Okay, hold up. Yep. You know what? So I've been neglecting the updates because it's like the updates, whenever it would pop up, would be like, I don't know, like online shit. And I'm like, this game's not meant to be online. I'm here for the fucking story. So no, I don't care about the updates. And
you're right. All bug fixes.
Yeah, some of and I thought it was my sound bar or some shit. Like the voices would match up.
Like when I pick up health stones, sound comes in late.
Yes. That a couple of characters was actually. I'm not knocking the game or the developers, but you know what? While we're on this topic. The developers did say that they didn't think this was the finished product. Like, they were upset. Like, and then IGN gave it a 10. And everybody was giving it rave reviews. But I did also notice there's been a couple of, mapping issues where they're not running on the ground. Their feet are like under the ground. It's not severe. It's not bad. They're not like waist deep in it. It's just like, let's say, ankles.
They're not like game breaking bugs, but they're definitely like a bummer for a game that took more than 4 years to make.
No, I agree with you.
But I'm not too worried about that. I mean, I think with the update today, I've noticed that the sound is more frequent now, but I don't pay attention to much to it.
So I have to, yeah. So today when I got the update, I was like, no, I don't want this update because I'm not online with it. So I should do the update. I was doing it, but then all of a sudden when the actual update started, it was taking too long. I was on 2% for like 2 minutes, and I was like, no, you know what? Just get right into it. I'm trying to play the game here.
But my point being is, even if it's commercialized, there's just not a lot of AAA games right now, and
and also the majority of them are Sony's.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like,
good call.
I know Microsoft 2 years ago bought a shit ton of studios.
Nothing happened.
And I'm playing on a Series X. I'm not biased towards one console. I'm about to pick up a PlayStation 5 as soon as I can fucking get one.
There's no reason to.
Silent Hill 2.
There's no reason to get a PlayStation 5.
Not with the Pro coming out.
There's no reason to get a PlayStation 5 Pro either.
What?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm playing Gears of War on my PlayStation 4 Pro. Gears of War, God of War. Oh, my bad. On my PlayStation 4 Pro, and it looks just as good as God of War 2018, and there was nothing wrong with God of War 2018.
Silent Hill's my shit. And they're remastering it, and it's a PS5 and PC exclusive for a year. And I looked at the PC recommendations. I don't have $1,500 laying around to build that bitch.
All right.
So I'm gonna go buy the $500 console, and then a year later I'll get it for my Series X because I'm a completionist. But my point being is, like, Microsoft needs to get up. I mean, let's be real. Microsoft. I haven't been excited for a Gears of War game since 3.
That's true.
Halo Infinite, I can't get through that campaign. It bores the shit out of me. That's just me.
That's untrue.
Halo Infinite, it's not there for me.
It's a great game.
What do you got, Microsoft? Come on, man. Like, it's hurting. Sony's got 2-3 games up for Game of the Year. Microsoft, stop dragging your fucking feet. You have literally the more powerful console. That's not up for debate. That is scientifically proven. The Series X is a more powerful machine, just not with load times because it uses a slower hard drive. Slightly slower, not a big deal.
No, it is a big deal. No, it is a big deal because, I bought a Series X. And I'm like, okay, great. Now my fucking Star Wars Squadrons is going to load like this. And no, it's the same fucking load time as my Xbox One X. And I'm like, the fuck is going on?
Well, older gen games don't take advantage of it. It's supposed to be the newer games. Like,
but no,
for instance,
Star Wars
Fallen Order?
No, but Star Wars... No. Squadrons came out after Fallen Order.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, Squadrons is the last Star Wars game to come out.
Series.
What was that, Chase?
I wasn't speaking. JR was, but I was gonna say I want a PS5 because that's the only way you're gonna be able to play the new Dead Space remake.
No, you can't be serious. That's not true.
Yeah, it's not gonna be on PS4 or anything like that. It's only gonna be PS5.
So is that
and that game comes out in January or February. January, I think.
So is that the same for like
It would be Series X for us.
All right, well, I got a Series X, but Jesus, that's messed up.
Yeah, we'll be able to play it just fine. And that's my thing. I have a PS4 Pro. I'll get God of War Ragnarok because I was holding off for the PS5 to get God of War Ragnarok, and then I watched Digital Foundry, and they're like, looks great, plays great on the Pro. You can do 60 frames at 1080p on the Pro. I'm like, dude, I'm in. I will get that shit when I have the money. I don't need to wait for the PS5. But I want to start seeing games. We're at that point. just make them next gen games. I'm sick of ramping up the PS4. I'm tired of it. I've been using it for fucking ages. I want to retire it and use it for VR.
Unless PS5 starts becoming more obtainable, which they're saying it might.
Whoa.
PS4.
Yeah, listen. When I went last week, I didn't think this was gonna happen. So, last week on Thursday morning, I got up mad. Well, I get up early every day, but I did everything I needed to do earlier so I can jump into my living room before I went to work. And I went to download God of War Ragnarok, right? I was like, oh shit, I had a $50 gift card from Father's Day still. And I was like, perfect. I'm going to throw this on the PlayStation. I'm going to get that God of War Ragnarok. I'm going to, do everything I need to do. And I'm going to get them downloaded so when I come home, I can start playing. Long story short, the gift card wouldn't work on the PlayStation thing. I was pissed off. So I went to work. I jumped on Amazon. I was like, I'll just get a $50 PlayStation gift card then, no problem. And then I'll pay the $10 for it. That didn't work. I was like, what the fuck? Is my gift card, stolen? Like, did somebody jack me? So after work, I wound up going to GameStop. And I was just going to buy a $50 PlayStation card. Because every time I went to GameStop, they were like, well, did you pre-order the game? And I was like, no. Well, we don't have it for you. What? It's a fucking massive title. How do you not have it? This time around, I went to GameStop, and they fucking had God of War Ragnarok for sale for everybody. It's like they were changing their image almost. And I was like, oh my God. So I used the $50 gift card and went through. So it must have been an online thing. Boom. Get God of War Ragnarok. I was very, very, very happy. I don't know where I'm going with this. But the fact of the matter was, I got the game. I installed it that Thursday night. We did a podcast, me and JR, about wrestling while God of War 2 is installing. And yeah, that's my story. There was a reason for this. If any of y'all remember where I was going with this, please.
PS5.
Right, the PS5. As I went into GameStop, there's a big fucking sign in the window saying, we have PS5s in stock. Ask about it.
So, it's not even just that. My local Walmart that I go into and work for, I don't work for Walmart, I work for another company. I want to make that perfectly clear. Not that there's anything wrong with working for Walmart, I just don't want to misconstrue. Every Thursday or Friday, that Walmart gets like 6 PS5s, discless or disc versions in stock. Granted, they're gone by like noon, and I show up at work at 8 in the morning. I'm at work at 8 in the morning. I could go buy a PS5. I just don't have $560 to spend, $60 for tax. But they're there. This is the problem that I've been seeing because, like, I went to my mall, the Boise Mall, and there's a retro game store, and they had 2 PS5s for $1,000.
$1,000?
And I asked him how much it was. I was like, how much is it? $1,000? I was like, what the fuck? I just saw like 6 in a fucking store. Well, we can't find them. We moved here from California. I'm like, that's your problem. In California and all these big cities, it's limited unless you know where to look.
Exactly.
See, me, I know where to look. I know where the PS5s are dropping. Even my GameStop, where I picked up GOAT of the Year, and it was the only copy of GOAT of the Year in the GameStop, they had 3 PS5s. You just have to know and have the money ready and be willing to get up at 7, pick it up at 8. Unless your GameStop doesn't open till noon, knock some motherfuckers out to get through the door.
Yeah, my GameStop doesn't open until like 10.
I didn't go to my GameStop to get God of War until 3:30.
Yeah.
They had
like,
PS5s.
They're there. The problem is people enabled the scalpers. The scalpers are still buying them. Dude, when I went to my GameStop to pick up GOAT of the Year, 3 dudes ran in there. Like, I was first in because I was waiting just to pick up the game. Each one went in there, PS5, and the guy's like, we don't have any. But because I've, like, made friends with this guy at GameStop, it's really weird. He was like, yeah, we have, like, 3 in the back. You want one? I'm like, dude, I don't have $560 fucking dollars laying around right now. I have 30 for Goat Simulator. He's like, 30? Fuck, dude, I'll sell it to you for 20. I was like, what? You know what I mean? So that's what's happening right now. Is a lot of these places are they're getting them in stock super early. The scalpers are getting them, or you get some cool guys like this guy at GameStop that are like, "Go fuck yourself. We're holding them because this guy has been in here for 3 days in a row asking for PlayStation 5s, and he was here last week and bought our entire stock."
Ah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, you just gotta ask and look. And you know me, I'm a figure hunter. Almost every weekend I'm out hunting for figures, and I'm hunting for consoles. I'm hunting for games now, and you know, you just gotta look and always have the fucking money ready. If you want my opinion as someone who paid $100 over MSRP for an Xbox Series X,
I'm guilty. I paid more than that.
I didn't pay a scalper. I found mine at a pawn shop. It was the guy who ran the pawn shop. He wasn't even gonna sell it.
Oh well, no. I bought the Halo Infinite Series X off of QVC.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I know.
I'm sorry.
I know. With all the bells and whistles that had no bells or whistles. Oh
yeah.
And see, that's what I thought. I went to RC Willie, which is like a rent-to-own place, and I got my PlayStation there. But at that time, I had no money, and I needed something to play. So I made $30 payments for like, I think it was like a year. I made like $30 payments, and
if you want my honest opinion, even if you're paying over MSRP, you're still paying $30 a month instead of $560 plus up front.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, I'm glad you brought up RC Willie. I got to shout them out real quick. So I ordered a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Arcade 1-Up in September. I'm lying, in September. Hoping that it will be at my door by my birthday in November. And it wasn't. It was on the FedEx truck. And then it wasn't. You tell me. I was pissed.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you get a refund at least?
Yeah, I got the refund. I got the refund. I was pissed. And then last week, Monday, I just so happened to type in, and bam! It's in RC Willie. And I'm like, what? They got the fucking things in RC Willie? And I went to RC Willie. And I straight up bought my $560 fucking Marvel vs. Was it $5? Yeah. No. I'm sorry. I'm lying. It was $650. The game was $599. And I bought it. I bought a PS5 Plus. I bought a PS5 Pro. But I bought Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Arcade 1-Up because I was like, when this game does come out for Arcade 1-Up, there's nothing stopping me from buying it. And apparently, some FedEx driver stopped me from buying it. But RC Willie had it the entire time. So when I was on vacation, if I would have known RC Willie would have had it, I would have had it and I would have been all right. So now, a week from Thanksgiving, I've had it hooked up for over a week now. I have not fucked with it. I have to fuck with it because my brother is coming to get me on Thanksgiving. And I gotta make sure my hands are correct. But anyway, I deviated from the thing. I'm talking about pricey things. We talking about people want to buy a PS5 for $550. I don't believe that's the case. But what's unfortunate is Sony and Microsoft and even not Nintendo really, but Sony and Microsoft, they're gonna hold us for fucking ransom when it comes to new games. Nothing is going to change graphic-wise nowadays. We are at the fucking peak of graphics. We're at the pinnacle. But what they're going to start to do is say, well, you can only buy it on a PS5. You can only buy it on a Series X. That, to me, is unfortunate. I think right now, this shit needs to cut the fuck out for at least 10 years. At least.
Yeah, because that's the one thing. It's like by the time everybody has a PS5 and with them saying they're supporting the PS4 for another 5 years, we're only going to have probably 5 years, maybe 6 of just PS5 time where there's nothing else to use, and then the PS6 or whatever will be out.
See,
and that's when it gets shitty.
I don't even think me personally, I don't think there'll be a PS6. At that point, it's just going to be PlayStation Now.
And that's what I think.
Everything's going to be fucking streaming.
Dude, I agree with that 100%. I think these are the end of the consoles, and everything is going to just be a stream. Everything's going to be a streaming service. And it's going to be like a $50 a month streaming service.
Like, Modern Warfare 2022 had 4 kilobytes on the disc and 150 that you had to download. They're not putting anything on the disc. They're wasting Blu-rays. So, keep that shit in mind. You're not paying for your games if you collect physically like I do. Even GOAT of the Year, it only had a gig on the disc. I had to download the other 8. I was pissed.
Oh, this is terrible.
Yeah, and I got Ragnarok digitally.
I'm sorry.
I wanted it digitally, but I had to get the hard copy.
The digital version was the best way that I saw. You couldn't get the collector's editions of the games because of scalpers.
Well,
and the digital deluxe was only $10, $20 more, and it came with the stuff that was more important, and it was all the in-game downloads. So that's what I thought was like, it's cheaper and, works.
Oh, that's why you're rocking that shit. That's why you're rocking that shit so hardcore, because you've got all the good armor. I got a grind for my armor.
I don't use it.
What, really?
I don't use the in-game stuff at all.
Oh shit!
The download stuff it came with is crap.
Oh, okay.
I just have it for the completionist. But yeah.
Gotcha. I'm over here grinding and shit.
Well, I wanted to say, I probably will put money that Elden Ring will win Game of the Year. Because there's a lot of people that fucking hate Sony. I'm just saying.
I am so disappointed. In all honesty, people, in the tumultuous years that we have had, okay, in the world in general, the greatest game of the fucking year is Power Wash Simulator. It absolutely is. It is the most. I mean, it's kind of stressful in certain points if you're trying to get everything, but it is the most relaxing game I've ever played in my life. It's got a level of feel good when you could clean the dirt and the grime and the dust and all that nastiness off of somebody's patio or their front lawn or their entire house or the car. It doesn't matter. Or the statue, and you raise Atlantis. I mean, like, it's so much fun. There's so much stuff. How is this not the game of the year? It's the most simplistic game. And you don't need, you don't need a supercomputer, a PS5, an Xbox, Series X. That's what I played it on. You don't need none of that stuff to enjoy the shit out of this game. It is the perfect game, and I don't understand why it's not nominated for Game of the Year. It's the best game. In this day and age, these are the type of games that people want to play because, granted, games like God of War, I can't speak on Elden Ring, but I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. Horizon Zero Dawn 2, like, these are the things that take us out of reality. Power Wash Simulator is reality because you can buy a power wash and just go into your, into your front garage, your lawn, and just start power washing your garage door, whatever the case may be, your house. But it's so good, I hate it. I don't understand why it's not nominated. It pisses me off. Some of the cat game, get that shit out of here. The cat game, are you serious? The cat game, the cat. Oh, I'm a cat. Meow. Get that shit out of here. Power Wash Simulator is God of War with a water gun. God of War with a water... Listen to what I'm saying. Power Wash Simulator is God of War with a water gun. It's the best game of the year. Everything else, take a step back. I'm sorry. I went on a diatribe. I apologize.
No, you're good. But I don't even think my GOAT of the year is nominated, considering it came out on Thursday.
What about you, Chase? What is game of the year for you?
So for me, it's God of War Ragnarok, just because I haven't played anything this year, and nothing's really caught my attention, you know. But Ragnarok's been what I've been excited about the most. That's my game of the year. But I don't know. I see it between Elden Ring and God of War. I don't think Elden Ring would win Game of the Year, but it's possible. The only reason for Elden Ring is just the narrative not being as strong as God of War Ragnarok's. I think that's what's going to give the advantage. Because also, I'm not only that, but God of War Ragnarok's up for like 10 nominees, and Elden Ring, I think, is only up for Game of the Year. So
that's crazy because, like, Elden Ring's a FromSoft game, and I'll admit it. Like, I wasn't a fan of the Souls series, and then I started playing Dark Souls 3 and Dark Souls 2, and I'm playing Dark Souls 1, and I've played Bloodborne, and they're hard. They're some fucking good games, man. Like, I kind of want to get Elden Ring for the Series X. Like, they're fun.
Yeah, I'm not negating the quality of the game. I'm just thinking, in my opinion, what it's pairing them to. Ragnarok has such a more serious narrative, and the people that have played the game that have gotten past the point where I'm at, shit has happened to where it's like, this is just excellent storytelling.
I would be remiss if I don't mention another game that our fellow podcaster Gam Z1, who's not here right now, loves, and that's Sonic Frontiers that just came out. Like, that didn't get crushed in reviews. That it's got pretty positive reviews.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't played it. I wish Gam was here. So
I don't think it got nominated though.
No, it didn't.
Anything.
Well, and that's the problem. The nominations for anything. All right, let me ask you this. Fuck the Game of the Year. When you watch the Game Awards, what do we really watch it for?
Previews.
Right. What are we seeing this year? Brother Chase, what do you think we're seeing this year, preview-wise?
Like, what's coming out in the future?
Yep.
I don't think I don't know. I personally, with Ragnarok, I don't know what's next.
I know exactly what we're going to see. We're going to see Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
We're going to see a trailer for Silent Hill 2 remake.
Okay.
That'll definitely be there.
Yep.
I've already seen the trailer. We'll probably get one other Silent Hill trailer, because there's like 4 fucking games in development that they announced and show trailers for. They're not fucking around.
Anything else?
Oh, sorry. I forgot someone was in my house. We'll also probably see, like, DLC. I mean, Call of Duty Warzone 2 just came out. We'll see trailers for that, and probably a crossover. You know, shit like that. Hopefully some GOAT of the Year DLC, because I'm already wanting some more. But, you know, I'm just speculation, or hoping, I should say. I hope we start seeing some games. And it looks like, you know, what is that? Dead Space remake, and that other game that looks like Dead Space because it's the creators of Dead Space. Yeah. I think those are the games that are gonna really start ramping up next gen. Like, let's get this shit going. Let's give us some games for the next gen consoles. Me personally, and that's what I want to see. I want to start seeing these games that make me be like, yeah, this is why I bought a Series X. Not to play, you know, fucking 360 games or original Xbox games, even though it's fun. But it's like, dude, this console can do 4K at 60. I've seen it with the GOAT of the Year. I'm surprised it hit those numbers.
The problem with that, though, is not everybody can afford that type of setup. You
No.
buy the console, but your TV ain't what it needs to be. You know what I mean? That's the trick nobody tells them. Oh, check out our new console. They buy the console, but their TV's a fucking 32-inch fucking 780. It's stupid. It doesn't work. And that's the problem.
Well, I mean, if you're still rocking a 720p TV, we gotta have a talk, because
but unfortunately,
those haven't been a thing since like 2010.
But unfortunately, that's the reality for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Like when I got my Series X, I thought I was macking. I was like, here we go. Then I'm like, there really ain't a difference. And I looked up my specs on my TV, and then I looked up what the specs I needed to get what I want out of my system. I was pissed. I was like, well, fuck. And I could have bought the TV, but I was like, I don't want to waste the money right now. I just wasted my fucking time.
Oh, dude, like, my TV is a standard 4K HDR Dolby Vision TV, but, you know, and it can't do the 120 frames per second. That's fine with me. Like, I'm there for the 4K and the Dolby Atmos, because I have, you know, a $2,000 surround sound setup with Dolby Atmos. So I needed a 4K Blu-ray player that did Dolby Atmos and a next-gen console because, you know, next-gen games do Dolby Atmos, you know, like Halo Infinite and GOAT of the Year. They do Dolby Atmos, and that's what I was looking for in the console, and that's what I got, and that's why I'm an advocate of next-gen, because you get Dolby Atmos, even though Atmos isn't really worth it.
I gotta be honest, I'm not an advocate of next-gen. I think we're dead here. I agree with what you said before. Going forward, we're going to the digital age. And I'm with that. I'm okay with that. I love my physical media. I really, really do. But at the same time, I'm ready to embrace the digital age. That being said, I want to say what we're going to see in this video game award show, the previews, sequels. People, we gotta get some sequels. We gotta get some sequels.
I don't know, man. That's... With me, it's a big tough one because I don't really see anything getting a sequel coming out. I mean,
Gears of War 6.
Hopefully we see
Gears of War 6. Gears of War 6.
But, I'm talking about Spider-Man.
Well, that's one thing, yeah.
I don't give a shit about Gears of War anymore, man.
No, but see, but here's the thing. It's not about what you give a shit about. It's about what we're going to get. What time it is.
You know, but that's interesting because now Netflix has acquired the rights for some of Gears of War, and they're doing that Netflix stuff. But I don't know. I don't think the last Gears of War did well enough to get a sequel.
Brother Chase, no offense, that's impossible. Only because it is a number 2 Xbox franchise. It doesn't matter what it did. It doesn't matter what it did. It goes back to being a Godzilla movie. It goes back to being a Gamera movie. It goes back to what did the other movie make to justify this? And that's all that matters. That's why Microsoft bought up all these studios. It doesn't matter if JR's studio, right, makes all the money, but the game ain't like that money is going to get funneled into Gears of War. That's what Marvel does. That's what Disney does, period. Gears of War 6 is coming because it has to come. Because they left it off at a cliffhanger. It has to come.
See, I couldn't finish the last Gears of War, so.
But that's the thing. It's just you. That's your opinion. But the fact of the matter is,
I just thought reading the reception of it from a lot of people wasn't great.
Right, and I didn't like it. Trust me when I tell you, I didn't like it at all. I did not like it. But I understood what it was. It was the middle part. It was the middle chapter of a trilogy. It's going to come. Because let's be for real here. What if God of War Ragnarok sucked? What if it didn't do what everybody expected it to do? I'm pretty sure when we get to the end of this game, there's a cliffhanger. You're not going to leave a video game off at a cliffhanger, especially with a franchise title. You understand? That's why I say we will see God of War 6.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying I felt that way because of my personal preference. I just wasn't aware of it ending on what it was. Now, what I will say is if it is going to get a sequel announcement, I don't think it will be at the Game Awards. I think it will be at the summer event when E3 comes back this summer.
No, it'll be a Game Award thing because Game Awards, it holds some weight. It holds some weight. I don't know what JR's got on his shoulder.
I mean,
what the hell is that, JR?
This is our Lord and Savior here to tell you about Goat of the Year.
Oh my God! Did you get that with
He's scaring me.
Does it have like fruit by the foot in its mouth?
That's its tongue.
Fruit by the foot.
Why does it have like a 12-foot tongue?
Because
it's a goat.
Okay. My goats didn't have 12 feet tongues.
That's funny. It looks like a fucking super slide in an amusement park.
I thought it was a lizard at first.
So yeah, no, listen. I think we're gonna see Gears of War 6 because it's about time, right? It's about time.
Yeah.
We're gonna see because what do? They covered their tracks with tactics. So yeah, we'll see Gears of War 6 finally. I believe we're going to see what was maybe an Injustice 3. Midway, Ed Boon and those Mortal Kombat dudes, they're coming. We'll see another Street Fighter 6 might be out already. But we'll see something from Ed Boon, whether it be oh my God, what the fuck? Wow, brain fart, bro. This is bad business. Injustice 3. Holy crap! I said it. I blanked, and then I had to go back. We'll see.
I would like to see him announce his kaiju fighting game he was teasing about a couple months ago. He was saying, if I did make a kaiju fighting game, what monsters would you want in it? And everyone's like Godzilla and Geras, all this stuff. So I'm curious if that goes anywhere.
That would be freaking awesome if it did. I doubt it, but yeah. And then also, apparently there might be a new Ratchet and Clank.
It's fast.
Well, I only say that because of God of War Ragnarok. Because there are things in God of War Ragnarok that is just freaking awesome, especially the poems. Brother Chase, have you been keeping up with the poems in God of War Ragnarok?
I think I have like 3 more to collect.
So I missed one, and I'm like, shit, this sucks. I missed one. I was so pissed off. I missed one in the middle. I was like,
out of the 14, you've only missed one?
Yes. Well, I'm not where you're at right now. But in the middle, I know I missed one because I was getting them. And then next thing you know, I got the next one. And then I saw like a blank space above me. And I'm like, oh shit, I missed one. And then the other ones I got kept going. So I definitely missed one. And it drives me nuts. But I think Ratchet and Clank is about due. I don't know. I never played those games. I don't know when the last one came out. So I couldn't say.
Like a year ago?
All right, so maybe not that one, but Infamous is due. If
Jack and Blaster?
Jackson. Oh, maybe that's the other one I wasn't thinking of. I'm waiting for a new Resistance game. What the fuck?
I wish, man.
Where's the kill zone?
Insomnia right now is doing their Spider-Man, so I don't know.
I guarantee you, Resistance ain't coming back for a while.
Which kills me.
I would love to see Resistance as well because I love Resistance.
It's great.
Resistance will come out if Microsoft buys Activision. Then Resistance will come out because Microsoft owns COD.
Listen.
No, I'd rather keep it PlayStation.
But it's not an exclusive PlayStation thing, Activision.
Ooh. Well, Resistance as a title is, though, isn't it?
No, yeah, that's not an Activision game, though. That's a Sony release.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is Sony will start making those again.
They'll make first-person
because
shooters
they
again.
need something to compete with Call of Duty.
Yep.
They need their own FPS, and it's Resistance and
Killzone.
Killzone.
Yep. They need to bring them back. And I want another Infamous game. I really do. And like you said, Insomniac is doing Spider-Man. I ain't mad at that.
I'm curious.
Is it Rocksteady?
I'm curious to see if we'll see something. There's been talk about Jurassic Park having their survival horror game, so I wonder if that will finally make its appearance, because that's been in the talks for quite a while.
That could be something.
No, it was called Survival at one point, but they've changed its name so many times, and they've canceled it and brought it back into fruition. And I think with how well Dominion did and how the Jurassic Park has just been doing, they'll show something Jurassic Park related.
I can see that, but you know what I really want? What I really want? I want Capcom to stop fucking dicking around with their Monster Hunter series and just remake Dino fucking Crisis. Stop the bullshit.
Please.
Stop the bullshit. It's time.
Please, dude, I'm playing it on the PlayStation 1 still. On my PS3.
Just remake Dino Crisis. Like, let's go. You got 17 different remakes of Resident Evil. It's time to remake Dino Crisis. I mean, like Chase said.
Well, aren't they doing that Dino game where you fighting the mechs and stuff?
That's not Dino Crisis?
No, what you talking about?
No, it's like called something else.
Extinction
That's
something.
the problem. No, Dino Crisis.
Right. No, I know what you're saying. It's Extinction something. It just got boofed off of Game Pass. I love that game. It was a great game.
And you know what? There's actually a few dinosaur games coming out by different companies. Like there's this one game called The Path or something like that, and it's like a survival horror game with dinosaurs that's not Jurassic Park related.
Or we could just go back to Turok. I mean, let's be for real here.
I would love to see Turok return. I loved the Xbox 360 Turok, and I played tons of the Turok games. I would love to see that come back because that was fun.
I had Turok on the Nintendo 64, and I loved it. And let's go.
They re-released those like a year or two ago, if I remember correctly. Turok 1 and 2.
Game Awards. We want Turok. Bring back Turok.
But nothing will compare to the GOAT of the year. Sorry, my Lord Commander is tempting me.
Well, I gotta disagree.
All I can say is I hope the stuff they do reveal is going to be exciting, because this whole year, the only game I've been excited about was Ragnarok. I haven't been excited about anything else until they showed Evil West, and I'm excited for that game. But that's going to be more of like, even though it comes out in the end of November, I'm excited for that game, Evil West.
There's been a couple of games that they showed last year. A lot of the Sony shit, a lot of it was, PlayStation stuff. But again, it's the same thing. It's like platforming, fantasy platforming, which I'm not mad at, and I liked it. Yeah. I can't think of the names. I thought some of this shit was cool. Shit, some of it goes back 2-3 years, and we still haven't seen it yet. This is the problem. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, where are we going? And all the resources goes to the AAA titles, the franchises that have been around. The God of Wars, the Gears of Wars, the Halos. Like, I hate to say it because I don't have a recent gen system, but Nintendo seems to be the only one, with the exception of fucking Metroid, to be doing their thing with their franchises. Oh, Metroid and Donkey Kong. Metroid and Donkey Kong. I gotta be honest.
I got a Switch, man, and like Nintendo knocks it out of the park most of the time. But Nintendo, all they do is first party shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's all they do. Like, third party support, they hand off to other companies and like, yeah, you do it. Whereas Microsoft, they don't do in-house shit anymore. They
bought everything.
To other studios.
They bought everything, and nothing's coming out, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's weird owning everything and not doing anything with it. I wonder if there is another Disney company that does that with a certain Xenomorph.
Listen, all I'm saying is,
All I hope is that if Doom gets, well, we know Doom's going to get another continuation. I just hope Bethesda doesn't hold it against everybody and holds it only as an Xbox exclusive.
it better. Oh,
It'll be an Xbox exclusive.
It'll be an Xbox.
The next Elder Scrolls is an Xbox exclusive. There's no fucking way Doom won't.
This is where
There
Sony
is
needs
no
to.
way.
This is where Sony needs to get it together. You know what we want. You want to do God of War 3. You want to do God of War. You better bring back the OG God of War. You better bring it back. That's the only way you gonna win, Sony. It's the only way. Yeah, don't matter how many systems you sell. It doesn't matter. You got to bring it back with old school fans, the ones that have lapsed. So what the fuck is this bullshit? This ain't Kratos. This ain't Kratos. You gotta bring it back, Sony, and then get the people to come back and then
And
buy
this
a
is where we end the
PS5.
show, everyone. Thank you for tuning into the G Show.
That's
Ray's on a rampage.
my line.
I'm just saying, like, let's be real here. If you were to re-release the original God of Wars, because they already kind of re-released them on the PS3,
I have them.
and then only released God of War 3 on the PS4, now's the time. Hop on that shit. Fuck, just port them. That's all you have to do. It's such a fucking stretch.
I think God of War 3 is actually on a PS5 too. So if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken,
it's like give us 1 and 2. Like I don't mind playing them on my PS3, but I am afraid to take apart my PS3 to clean it. That console intimidates me.
Oh.
Dude, by the way, I tore down my Xbox Series X last week and cleaned it. I took it apart and cleaned the fucking thing, put it back together, and it works.
Yeah, I'm never going to do that. I'm going to take a freaking air can, spray it, and...
Oh, dude. I took the isopropyl alcohol and a brush, went into the fucking heat sink and the vents and was cleaning everything.
No, what are you doing? And that'll do it, ladies and gentlemen. Man.
I unhooked the fan, pulled it out, and cleaned the fan.
Absolutely.
Dude, I would hate shit.
If you buy a pressure washer and take that to your console.
Game of the year right there, bro. Power Wash Simulator. You have no idea how much fun that is.
When you're talking about that, I thought, how cool of a game would it be if it was like in the style, and this came from the pressure washer idea. What if it was like a game where it was like Ghostbusters, but you fight kaiju with like proton packs?
Bro.
I thought that would be pretty cool.
Stop. Oh my god.
Oh!
There's
only one simulator, man. I'm telling you right now.
It ain't what you think.
It's the king of simulators.
Llama Simulator. Oh my god. Talk about a derailment. It's Train Simulator. Amtrak Edition.
There's a lot of those.
Amtrak
But
Edition.
there is only one. There is only one simulator.
That's right. And it is T.J. Carson's God of War.
You mean Raid Simulator, the game?
Spartan.
Raid Simulator.
Zeus!
Your son has returned! I swear to God, I'm gonna play God of War 2 just for that end part. Zeus! Your son has returned!
Oh my God.
I bring the destruction of Olympus!
You know what's funny, Chase? And J.O.'s not gonna get this, and I don't want to spoil it, but that section with Atreus in Jotunheim, the end part of that, I was like, wait a minute, is that Gaia?
Oh my God, yeah.
Right? Oh, it was so good. It was
What's
so
funny
good.
is, too, is because JR made his question about, he said that thing about olives earlier, and I'm laughing my ass off because when you get further in the game, someone's going to say something about olives and you're going to lose it.
we were drinking a Bloody Mary and eating olives, and there's a fucking joke in Ragnarok about it. Of course.
It made me laugh my ass off so bad because the reaction to what was said from everyone that's involved is so fucking funny. And I'm like, God, Ragnarok is so fucking funny at times.
Waiting for
There were some
Kratos'
jokes that had
reaction.
me to crack up.
And that might be the reason why it wins Game of the Year, because it is so well written. And there's no, like, one thing I can't do in video games. I'll shut it off when I have to pick my, what I gotta say next. I don't like that. I just want the video game to take me to another place. I don't want to be there. I just want it to do it for me. I just want a hack and slash. But God of War, like, man, the dialogue, like you said, Chase, and I'm not even there, but just the little things I've seen so far in terms of conversation-wise, it's so good. One thing before we go, and again, a God of War, I fucking loved, and again, it's with Atreus. It's whatever. Remember that part?
Yeah.
That shit was so good. I was like, man, stop the press. Who is that?
There's so much, and as it gets further, it just gets better. And that's what I love about Ragnarok. Everything from the 2018 game is just so much better. Story-wise, gameplay-wise, armor-wise, is just a lot more fun. And when you get to this part that I'm excited for you to get about, I can't wait for you to be like, holy fucking shit, and just blowing up. You'll probably message me so you don't spoil it for anyone else, but when you get to it, and I know you'll get to it because you'll exactly lose your shit. Okay. And if you don't, then something's wrong with you.
All right, well, that being said, let me get the fuck out of here. Let's cut this podcast. I gotta go play this fucking game. Ladies and gentlemen.
We have another 20 more hours to catch up.
Yeah, I do. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this live stream. Appreciate it very much so. I want to thank my co-hosts, cohorts, my partners, as always. JR, thank you for being here with me.
Goat Simulator 3 is Game of the Year if you didn't get my drift.
The goat!
Fucking love that game, dude. A Silent Hill 2 reference in a goat simulator.
The goat! Brother Chase, thank you for joining us today again. I appreciate you all the time. Thank you, brother.
Oh, as always, it's all fun and games. No pun intended. And we got some cool shit to look forward to with Godzilla and Kaiju, and it's going to be fun.
We definitely do. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you keep this channel locked. When Godzilla stuff comes out, we'll be talking about it on the block party. This is the Geek Out where, we just geek out about shit we love. And I want to thank all of y'all for joining us. I want to say, again, rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. Welcome back, Gamera. God of War, are you really the Game of the Year? I'm TJ Carson, I met you.
Does that mean Kevin Conroy is Gamera?
Gamera.
He died to come back as Gamera.
Gamera.
And on that note, we are.